In your packets, I think Mary may also have passed out to you a short statement from me relative to your budget books, where I talk about the recommendations that I made in there for the 2017-2018 fiscal year and what's going on. And also, I'd like to comment about consolidation, which will also include some of the budget work, the folks that have come here tonight to talk about their budgets, those department heads. With respect to consolidation, it should be noted that the Department of Public Works budget for the 2017-2018 year has a significant increase this coming year, which reflects capital or other projects in the town relative to maintenance and repair projects or services affecting Wasson Custodial, Park and Rec, Shellfish, Harbor, and of course DPW itself and others. This is because this is the first phase of what I am calling a larger overall plan of consolidation of services, repairs, and maintenance. We've already discussed this preliminary consolidation with some of the department's heads who are affected by this, and they are in favor of consolidation. And, you know, we ultimately save a lot of time, a lot of money. It just makes sense in so many ways. And now Peter will explain some of these areas that we have targeted in this first phase, some of which are you folks from these commissions are going to be speaking about this evening. So, Pete, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. You have all the information I'm going to give you. You already have it. So I'm going to give you a little color. I have one piece that you can mark. I'll give that in a few minutes. I did not bring the usual backup detail, the averages of everything that you see in the pages. You got to give your basis because I think at this point in my career, you know, that's what I do. Overall, I've given you a budget that shows what I have currently in this year's operating, what I am proposing for 2017-18, and then the difference between those. So you'll see some minuses and you'll see some pluses. And you'll see a difference of 51,000 and 2.93%. That 51,000, you'll see the largest jump is really in labor costs. And that is because after a long discussion with Bruce and Janet, and some other people here, that I have asked for an assistant director this year to assist in operations of the department. And I'll go to a little deeper in that as we get through that. But
now, would that be now a guy or just one of your guys?
I got, yeah, because I can't. I shift because I've taken on more responsibilities even next year.
So you're gonna go from, you got 14 now, and you're gonna go to 15.
So Janet figured it out, and actually what I'm asking for an increase doesn't even, and then there's some savings elsewhere. Doesn't even cover.
Just let me stop you on one thing. We looked at Pete's job description and what his department actually does in 2008 versus what it is now. His responsibilities are 5 times what they were back in 2008.
So I'm everything just asking.
No, just, yeah, no,
I'm
and I'll
just
explain a little bit
supporting
about
Yeah.
Sorry. The rest of the stuff is pretty self-explanatory, except when you get into the second page where you see, the third page where you see a bunch of yellow. The yellows are things that were implemented this year that were not budgeted for, but are required, and they've actually changed them a little bit around to life safety. But street light maintenance, as you know, we bought our street lights. Next year I have to include money for maintenance. I've already had to do some maintenance this year. Intrusion alarm maintenance and intrusion alarm repairs. I am in the process of taking over the fire alarms this year, and I'm in the process of taking over the intrusion alarms as per the bid specifications.
Is that schools as well?
No, just here for now, but there's, I can talk a little bit more about the school. There are some, I can't get answers for some of the things that I found, so I'm just proceeding to change things, to cut costs dramatically in that area, so.
And it is significant.
Yeah, and then the next page, you see all the life safety things, which I've been talking about for years, which is the fire alarm and systems that preventive maintenance, testing and repairs, fire extinguishers, hood cleaning, emergency light, exit light maintenance, and emergency light repairs, and HAZ communication. These things are now all under contract. They all meet the latest building code requirements and the NFPA standards for what you're supposed to do under life safety. HAZ communication is a new one. We've actually hired a company that comes in and they survey your building and they put together an online program where they list all your material data safety sheets. And all you do is you send them what you purchased and they revise your program for you and they put it in. And for them to do, once they set it up, the maintenance is very minimal. So they did all public works. We have them doing the town hall this week. And it'll take care of all that information, both in all our town facilities for a very reasonable cost. The rest of it is, as you know, or you don't know, we're supposed to, or we are currently, we check our emergency lighting on a monthly basis to make sure it's working. We found a ton of it that wasn't working. That's been corrected. We did our annual check on our fire alarm, which is required. Found a lot of those weren't working. Found some situations that needed to be corrected. One of them is a new panel put here in the town hall for the fire alarm system, and you'll be getting a new panel for the intrusion alarm system as well. Part of that process has been upgrading all the town hall to S2, which is the electronic fob. That also has been done at Park and Rec, and it has been done at the north end. It's been done at the PD Annex, and I think actually every building's under that program right now. Secondary to that is that all the locks are going to be changed so that we have a much better master system that is trackable. The rest of the budget is permitting and engineer surveying services. So if you look at basically this whole page, which is the second page, and you look at most of the 2/3 of the second page, that is all, the third page, that is all townwide services. That is that massive budget you see on the front page for $313,000, which is actually less than that.
So these are new charges to Public Works, and these are ongoing charges?
These are ongoing charges because they're maintenance, preventive maintenance. Now, the way they were covered this year, Carol, is that when Janet and I worked with planning and zoning, we've actually transitioned the cost of consulting for engineering and planning and zoning to a planning and zoning cost. It used to be covered under Public Works way back when, for a variety of reasons, which Willie's familiar with, but there's a pretty good program now. So rather than covered out of this account, it's actually covered out of the fees collected, which is what the original intent was. So I was actually able to implement all these other things without having to request any additional funding. I used what was the balance of the engineering. And then next year I cut that engineering to where it belongs and have continued those programs. So, so overall, if you took out the request for the assistant director, my budget would have been negative this year. Having said that, I always have this fear that one day I'm going to have to walk in and say, hey, listen, I had too many repairs this year, I can't cover it. But so far, we've been able to do everything we've been able to do.
So you're saying 2.93?
Say that again. Yes. Well, that's with the new position.
Why is it 7.38 here?
On the summary sheet, it's probably not updated.
Yeah.
But
This is what I have.
But the overall estimate,
I think there's other things added in this.
Well, I just
Well, let me finish and then you can go.
yeah, because the numbers don't jive with the
right,
ES.
Right. There's, as far as why I'm asking for the I've given you, and I've worked on this for a while because, nobody, listen, I understand asking for a position, I understand the difficulty of addressing that and doing things with it, but basically, what you see here is a layout and a chart form of what the responsibilities are of the Department of Public Works. And with some descriptors below those, but not all the descriptors that are below those. But basically, we're responsible for pretty much everything. And this coming year, we've already started to take over building maintenance in terms of calling in and getting things repaired and getting things scheduled and doing some of the repairs ourselves.
Will we taking those, say it was here, Walsingham, are you taking that?
Well, I'll explain that in a minute. Yep,
It's coming.
It's coming. So, the problem I have is I can't do all this and still run all the projects that need to be run and have been assigned to the municipal building committee of the town, public works. Do the emergency management, keep up all the permitting, the stormwater stuff required from DEP. And there's just a ton of paperwork that comes in on a daily basis. There's a ton of paperwork that has to be addressed. A lot of it comes through First Selectmen's office, a lot of it comes from me to the First Selectmen's office. We're just into a very, very heavy, and have been for several years, heavy construction period. It started with Willie and it's just actually continued right through. And then there's all the other things that you need to do on a daily basis, meet with the crews, set them out, cut the work schedules, put them out, make sure that everything is covered, that processing all the work orders or the emergencies that come in, ordering materials, making sure equipment's ready to go, getting ready for storms, and a ton of things that occur on a day-to-day basis. So I've been spending a lot of time at the office, much more than I care to. And I have not been able to cover it, so I've actually had to pull a crew leader off to help me do it. But that means I have nobody out on the road supervising the people on the roads where I need to have them supervised as well and making those decisions. So if you really look at this, I'd be happy to sit down and talk to anybody about this chart. It's an enormous amount of work. An enormous amount of work. And we're pretty good at it, but you know, some of the things we do now is we maintain all the, other than the police department and fire department, we maintain our fleet, the town hall fleet, we maintain the registrations for everybody but the fire department. Everything is registered through our department, including Board of Ed vehicles, police vehicles, town hall vehicles, my vehicles. We do preventive maintenance on the town hall vehicles with my own staff. We do it on our vehicles. So there's a lot of things that have come into the fold. And it requires a lot of work to keep those things going. And even though I have preventive maintenance contracts on a lot of the equipment, such as HVAC, you know, it takes somebody to follow that up. You know, every day, every morning, either my crew leader looks at the HVAC system at the PD or I look at it. And, you know, PD calls and says they have a problem with the leak. I send up my plumber to go look at it. If we can fix it, we fix it.
It was about 85 degrees in there the other night.
Well, somebody fooled, they tap the, you know.
They can't stop touching it.
They,
That's
you
the
know,
problem, they keep messing with it and it throws everything off.
And so, I mean, there's just ongoing projects. There's the water main project, there's the large bridge project, there's the small bridge projects, there's the steep grant for Peters Complex, there's the steep grant for the Route 1 sidewalks, there's the bulkhead program, there's numerous building projects that are in process or scheduled.
And let me say too, the timing is now, we decided for the consolidation of services. And when you list everything up in there, that's why you need this extra help, because, you know, you're talking about everything, services and contracts and utilities and systems and supplies, equipment and vehicle repairs and maintenance, you know, town repair projects. We want to grow the GIS applications on what we're doing, custodial services, building maintenance. In time, we hope to bring, you know, the Board of Education into the fold on some of these things, you know. Again, this is the first phase. We think the timing is now to do this.
Bruce mentions GIS, and to be frankly honest with you, the town's GIS has not, I know Chuck's working on it, but my permitting for stormwater discharge requires that I have it available next year. So I've hired a GIS consultant, we have bought iPads, they're importing my townwide survey data points at this point. They've got pictures of where our drainage is, but I'm gonna have to field confirm all that. So that means I have to send a guy out
Every
myself. Huh?
Every catch basin,
Every catch basin, every crossing, has to be field confirmed. So this is not something that we have an option on, it's something that I have to do or has to be done. And either you're gonna hire somebody for $150,000 to go around and do that all for you, or we're gonna do it internally. I've chosen to do it internally at this point. But it's something that we have to have in place, it has to be available to the public next year. So in the process of updating all our stormwater discharge points, one for the industrial for our facility and the other the general for the town, all this work has to take place. So we've met with the consultant that actually did the COG, who, did a nice job with the river COG.
Right.
And Tig and Bond, they're actually our
They're
consultants.
good.
What I've given you is our first blush, and Jan asked me to go through some line items, and what you see at the bottom where it says the 217, 218 request by department, you'll see that at the end of the night, it was add up to about $104,000. And then after reviewing duplication either in my budget or stuff that I've already taken care of, or is in the schedule, we managed to eliminate about 31,000 of that. I did add a line that wasn't there, which was general maintenance for electrical and plumbing for townwide services, which we did not have before. So basically, we've taken $104,000 worth of expenses and
Did you
eliminated
put this
31.
in here already, Peter? or-
I did not put anything in that.
So this is still, this is,
Has this been
Yes.
programmed in yet?
Yes, that is in the first selectman's request.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Not, that's Pete's. If you look at the first sheet where it shows the request and the first selectman's request, that 72,700 is the last line, it doesn't have an account number.
So,
Where are we talking on?
First selectman's request is
Yeah,
out.
1,870,027.
Yes, that includes the 72,700 is what he's describing. It's in there, it's in the first selectman's
Where is the
request.
72,000?
It's the
Last
last
line.
line under the
Town building.
All right, okay.
So, in reviewing the budgets, we found quite a bit of duplication. Stuff that I was already doing and already issued purchase orders for on a routine basis for a couple of years. I've looked at some extraordinary expenses and then I've come down to figure out what those are, and in some cases,
You're able to eliminate.
able to eliminate them totally.
Right.
There are some extraordinary expenses that are still present. One of them is highlighted in yellow on the WASAM. That is a Sonotrol intrusion alarm system that's about
2006 or 7.
The WASAM maintenance budget has 7,004 plus another 34 and something else for it. So I've talked to, I've written Sonotrol, haven't gotten any answer, but I've talked to our vendor. What I've done here with the fire alarm, it was a single vendor fire alarm system that only one vendor could maintain. It was very expensive. I put in a Honeywell system, which anyone, 4 or 5, 6 vendors can maintain. And I'm going to do same thing with the alarm system. So in 3 years from now, if fire tech is no longer our service, whoever comes in will have to, pull out the Pinos will be able to maintain all our equipment at that point in time. So, fire alarm is the same. I mean, there's just things that were not intentionally by anybody's part, but there were just things that were being duplicated. So this is my best suggestion for a probable budget for these items for next year. I had a long talk with Park and Rec Commission last night. They understand what's happening. They'll be in the senior meeting. BOS understands what's going on.
And he supports it.
Yeah.
So the additional, is that going to be a union position or is it outside?
That would be, that hasn't been determined yet.
Okay. I mean, obviously it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be discussed, but
And the 70K is really ended up going to be more like 100K by the time you get done with the
Well,
benefits and everything else.
Except that you've taken out this line
Yeah,
item
we don't
for
list that.
additional personnel that was 50,000, is that this same
there's
person?
we don't do that on any.
We don't list the benefits anymore.
No, the benefits are general government.
I know,
No,
yeah.
no, the number of people are staying the same, except we're adding a person.
Right.
Well-
It's an additional person
In terms
on top
of
of
the
what they
budget
already have.
that you're looking at here,
Correct.
I didn't do
you
the
have
labor.
added
I
that
didn't do
one
the-
person, but there's
I
someone
didn't-
missing
I didn't do
here.
the labor. Janet did it. I-
Well,
No, that
That
49 is not in this year's budget.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying, it's really only
I don't know.
$30,000 or $20,000 increase.
No, I'm saying it
salary.
wasn't, it's not in the current 16-17 budget.
I know.
It's a $90,000.
It's not in there, that shouldn't be there. Because you see how it says a total of 910, when actually this year's budget is 863.
Oh, all right.
So this is not a budget that does any capital projects. This is strictly an operational repairs and maintenance budget. Doesn't count for any building projects, that all comes through that other fund on the capital planning fund that really worked on and really worked on. So this is really maintenance for all town buildings, all athletic complexes, including Board of Ed complexes, all exterior maintenance, including Board of Ed buildings, all
When you say
facilities.
exterior maintenance, are you talking grounds?
Grounds at this point, yeah, but on our buildings, it's exterior maintenance at this point, more than that. On Board of Ed, it's just grounds, but.
So when a department head or supervisor has a problem, say here, they have to call you.
They do that?
Yeah.
Tom Finney calls me all the time.
And the union has no problem with it, because they are supervisors. Just like Parker Rec is a supervisor, yes, he is. He's a- Yeah,
we voted on it.
yeah, no, I mean, as a,
What are you saying?
and the other thing I worry about is the trust, has that been discussed?
Yes,
Yeah.
and we can break that out.
You need to probably have a line item just to say Wasan maintenance because of the trust, because we get money
It
from the
doesn't, it
trust.
doesn't say that we have to have a separate expense line, but it says we have to count for it, and I just.
Correct, you gotta-
It would be easier if we just broke out the part of that 72,000 that's just for.
Just put a line, say
Yep.
Wasan.
Yep.
You know, it's
Because
30,
the
40,000
details are
bucks a
there,
year.
we have the
Yes.
details there, what we're
Well,
budgeting.
where we put it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
This is a line item.
Just so it doesn't matter, just because of,
Yeah, you have-
it's 30, 40,000 bucks a year the town gets back from the trust because of the maintenance of the building.
Tom Finney called me about 2 issues today,
Hmm.
which I've solved both.
Hmm.
So, or have plans to solve both. So, I mean, it's not, he's been calling right along. So, I mean, that transition has already started this year, even though the funding hasn't been transitioned out, so. Been doing it at Town Marina for a couple
Oh,
of
yeah.
years. Park and Rec,
Parker Rec's like an overlap anyway.
it's an overlap, so, the chief is fine.
Hmm.
He's chief.
Yeah, he's excited.
He's excited about it.
Except that his budget didn't go down.
Yeah, well,
It went down.
No, not according to this, as of yet, the
the
maintenance.
maintenance.
The building maintenance hasn't gone down yet.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna consolidate, there should be a reduction in his maintenance budget in here. No, not in here.
Put it this way,
look.
the amount that he requested, we transferred. It's not in his.
Not in here. I'm just telling what I have right in front of me,
Okay.
which I look at. You know I look at this stuff.
But basically, that's where I am with the department budget, with the proposed transfers of funds,
You have your book.
and my justification for the assistant director. I think the other issue which concerns me, and I think it concerns some other people, is there's really no transition of the ability at this point. The next person between the me and whoever, the assistant doesn't have to be the next director of public works, but you're gonna have somebody that's gonna have to run the place.
Will this assistant have active knowledge of your job?
No, it would definitely just, you would hire someone outside to take that position, or you're not gonna take inside?
I'm gonna take inside, I think, because I
You
think.
would or would not?
I would, I think at this point, to train somebody to come in and get into
So
the assistant.
When the guy that you hire be on the lower end then? So it's-
Yeah, but you gotta look at where you're coming from, in terms of where he's making, what they're making now, and that, the position that they're.
But I'm saying, say you,
Oh, that would be the lower end at that rate.
No, I'm saying is you took one of these guys, moved them off,
Yeah.
just like what we do with the police, you know, you hire a guy or a teacher, they start at the low rate, and
Get back.
one of these guys, I'm just saying, you had,
Well, that hasn't been negotiated, I mean, it was just, we put a marker in there for the time being.
Yeah. Union, are they up this year?
Not for
DPW, is it 18 or is it 17?
Next year.
last year. One year and a half. No, you know, a lot of those questions we haven't explored, because I think they have to be explored several different ways. And as you go through the process, it looks like it's going to be, then those decisions will be made, union, not union, pay, that type of stuff. I think the problem with bringing, to be honest with you, John, to bring somebody from the outside for that position, I'm not saying for the director, but for the assistant to the job, I would spend just as much time training a person as.
no, I'm just curious, just one.
So I have somebody that has actually proved to be very good on the computer, which is 90% of the battle in my field, and has the ability to do the stuff that I need to do in the fields that I'm talking about, that he would start. And I've always said that whoever comes up to that position may not be your next director of public works. And I've made that clear.
Thank you.
Hmm?
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
Very nice.
Good. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to stop by.
I would attend to look at that.
Stick around.
Yeah, no, I'm sitting there.
No longer.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pete.